Hello, everybody. This is the first of many training videos on the new hire process and staff changes. So I just wanted to do an overview of the new process and each step, the reasoning behind why we moved to a new process, and then I will have a training video specifically for each step of the way that goes in depth on each form that a supervisor needs to submit in order to hire someone or make any staff changes. So again, this is just an overview training video. We did move once we combined regions. Jan and I put our heads together and wanted to make a little bit more of a streamlined process for any new hires coming on staff or staff changes, meaning title changes, salary changes, hours changes, things like that. So again, this form is going to be your one-stop shop, and it will always be linked in the first and third at the end of that email with all of the helpful links. So we just recommend pulling it up and bookmarking it for later. And if you use Google Chrome, you can just click the little star in the search bar, and then it should say add to bookmarks, and you can edit your bookmarks and add it to a folder or just put it on your bookmark bar. So fun little tidbit. But the form, again, is to be used. So for the new hire process, we are asking that supervisors follow every single one of these steps and submit each request, even if they have a candidate that they're hoping to hire. If they already know the candidate that they're bringing on, we still ask that you follow every step in order to ensure equity, fairness, and legitimacy in the region's hiring process. So please follow this below timeline, and I'll go through each step. And again, there will be a separate training video to go through the form. But the first step is posting the job. So the supervisor will want to fill out this job posting request so that the regional office can create a job posting for the open position, and so that applicants can be collected. This is not required for student staff positions. As we know, those positions are a little bit more specific to the regional training process. So this is required for admins, for staff associate, for direct ministry, for mission staff, for office assistants, for area directors, for any position outside of the student staff position. You will want to request a job posting. And please note that the job posting takes about 5 to 7 business days to process. So the regional office will submit the request for a job posting. That takes about 5 to 7 days for the service center to get it through, and then the job has to be posted for at least 2 weeks. Again, this is to ensure equity and fairness. So we know that this is kind of a shift from how things have been done in the region and in Mount Hood, and we just ask that you keep that timeline in mind so that moving forward, if you are looking to fill a position down the road or hire someone, you kind of know, okay, it'll take about 3 weeks for that job to be posted and for applicants to be collected. Then we, once applicants are screened and supervisors are ready to hold interviews, we ask that you submit an interview request with the interview plans for regional office approval. So this is just asking you to tell us when you're hoping to interview, who will be on the interview committee, just to ensure that there's equitable representation from the region and from the area. The third step after interviews are done and a candidate has been selected, you'll want to request an IRD, the individual rate determination, from the regional office. So again, you will submit the information, and then the regional office will populate a salary range for the potential candidate. We'll send it back to that supervisor so that you're able to then determine with the interview committee what to offer the candidate. Again, this step is necessary for all new hires and should be done before any salary is offered. And once again, not required for student staff positions. Offer letter request is the next step. So once again, you've received the IRD and know what the compensation range. You hopefully by now have determined what salary you want to offer. Then you're going to request an offer letter from our office. We'll draft a letter and send that to the candidate and CC you, as well as the committee chair and anybody else you designated on that request form. Once emailed, the candidate will need to sign and date the document and then return electronically to our office for HR records. Then the next step is a PAR request. So once a candidate is selected and signs their offer letter, the supervisor will need to send the candidate all new hire paperwork and assist them with filling it out. Once it's complete, the supervisor will then go back into this form, select the PAR request, and then upload all of that new hire paperwork as well as information to be submitted to our office no later than the 10th of the month that the new hire is coming on staff. So for example, if you have someone you're hiring for October 20th, you still need to go through this process and have a PAR submitted, a PAR request form submitted to the regional office no later than October 10th, just to ensure that we have time to process that and get them on payroll. Please note that this is the lengthiest step, so we definitely recommend starting this process and making sure that you are in communication with that candidate to help them as they fill out the new hire paperwork. But again, please view the separate training video on this process as we'll go through all the different new hire paperwork you'll need to collect and where to find that. And then the very last step is the supervisor onboarding checklist request, which is what supervisors will need to submit to confirm that each step in the request is completed. So to make sure that the new staff is onboarded correctly, that training has been determined, and that the candidate has signed up for that training, etc. So it's really just a helpful way to ensure supervisors know kind of next steps once someone is officially on staff, and to avoid missing anything. And then the PAR request form, just a note, will also be used for any of those staff changes that I mentioned. So a title change, a change in salary or hours, a parental leave or temporary leave of absence, a termination. So just note that this is a double use request form. But again, please see the videos that we will provide on every step of the process. And as always, feel free to email myself or Jana if you have any questions. Thanks so much.